should have the boot taken off
Are we on there?
Monday. Got an MRI on my hip yesterday, so that'll be next.
We're missing some folks tonight, so if you give us a minute, we're waiting on a quorum. So if you bear with us a few minutes, I would appreciate it.
Playing musical name tags. I should have looked before I got up here. Trying to see.
I'm turning this up.
I called. To find some phone numbers.
She went upstairs to make the phone calls for Adam. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The mics are on and hot.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we've got a quorum.
All right, sir. I'd like to call the monthly meeting of the Spalding County Board of Zoning Appeals to order at this time. Couple of things that I'd like to bring up before we get started, a little housekeeping things. Anyone outside that wants to speak for or against any item on the agenda tonight, you need to sign in on the paperwork in the back. That's not the applicant. That is anyone who wants to voice their opinion either for or against. When called, the speakers will come up. Each one will have 3 minutes. The comments are to be directed directly to the board and not to the audience. And there will be no verbal exchange between any of the speakers and the board or vice versa. Now, we can ask questions of the applicant and vice versa there, but not the ones that just speak for or against. Are there anyone signed up to speak for or against on the
Yes, sir.
sheets? I guess we need to pick them up.
Yeah, I can grab them, but I don't believe anyone has signed up, no, sir.
Okay.
No, sir, no one signed up.
Okay. Then we'll go to our first item on the agenda is application 23-22V, Lee Spanos, owner 578 Rawls Road, approximately 46.59 acres, located in land lot 101 of the second land district. The applicant will subdivide the lot into 2 tracts, in which tract 2 will not meet the required 200 foot of road frontage. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the frontage on tract 2 from the required 200 feet to 199.38 feet. This property is on AR1, agricultural and residential. Is the applicant present?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Would you like to come up and tell us about your application, please, sir? When you come up, would you state your name and your address for the record, please?
Yes, sir. My name is, excuse me, Lee Spahas. Address is 517 Rawls Road, Williamson, Georgia. Basically, in a nutshell, I bought this property 2 years ago. The survey that I bought the property on, that what I was given when I purchased the property showed 401 point something feet of road frontage. 400.86 feet of road frontage on the survey I was provided when I purchased the property. I knew the minimum requirement was 200 feet of road frontage. We gave the parcel that you'll see on that, I guess that would be southwest corner, to our daughter and son-in-law for them to build their house on. Obviously, they needed 200 feet for their building permit. At the time we needed to build our house, she was pregnant and they were living in a camper, and we needed to get started with building a house. And I was told by the county at that point to get this variance would be basically a done deal, just to get it surveyed and it would be approved. I needed to go ahead and get started on my construction on my house, so we went ahead and permitted it. It was approved based on the road frontage I have on 362. And when I came back later to try to get all this done so I could get my mortgage done and not have to give them the full parcel for collateral, again, I was told just get it surveyed off, it'll be approved with, I assumed at the time, an administrative variance. In the past, when I've dealt with other counties, there was an administrative variance process. Nobody told me that this would have to go to the full or any kind of board meeting or anything, but long story short, I'm about 7.5 inches short of the frontage I need, and I'm asking for a variance to do what's presented here.
Mr. Spahas, which portion are you talking about that has less than 200 feet frontage?
That right there that's being
That right
circled.
there, okay, because the drawing is so small, I can't read it here.
Make that larger. Thank you, Ms. Eva.
Does that work?
Oh, yeah, I see it. So you purchased the property not knowing, under the impression that you had your 200 feet there, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the old survey that I was provided when I purchased it and
Okay.
showed, and my surveyor, believe me, when I got the new survey back from my surveyor, I was shocked, and I'm like, how in the world did I lose 1.5 feet? And we went round and round, and he's like, Lee, he goes, if you give me something, without getting too much into it, my neighbors who I bought it from, he claims that the prior owner of the property next, or that's, I own all the way around that parcel that's shown cut out there, but he says that the pin was placed where the pin was moved, essentially. And I really don't want to get into all that
Right.
with dealing with
Yeah,
that,
that's
Yeah.
fine.
but
Okay.
that was the story I was given.
Okay. Any questions from the board of Mr. Spahas?
No, not at this time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Now we'll entertain a motion from staff.
Yes, sir. Good evening. The applicant, again, is Lee Spahas. The address is 517 Rawls Road. Variance request is to reduce the frontage required from 200 feet to 199.38 feet. And I'm sorry for kind of chuckling, but this would be an example of maybe one day in the future we could probably add into our Muni Code process for administrative variance. But because we don't have that right now, you have to go through this board to get that variance reduction. The north boundary of the property adjacent to it is zone A1, and that's for the east boundary, south boundary, and as well the west boundary. By granting the variance, as you can see in section 411, point A, point 1 through 8, there's a list of criteria where you can make a determination if the request meets certain hardships, and according to the criteria, it does meet all the hardships for making a determination to approve a variance. The background: the applicant is requesting to reduce the frontage from the required 200 to 199.38 feet. When the applicant bought the property, as he said earlier, their survey stated a frontage of 200.86. A new survey, however, now states that the property's frontage is only 199.38 feet. This will allow the applicant to subdivide his property into 2 tracts. The first tract would have road frontage on Williamson Road, and the second tract would have road frontage on Rawls Road. Final staff recommendation is for approval to reduce front setback from 200 feet to 199.38 feet.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Reese. Any questions from the board for Mr. Reese?
No, not at this time.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion concerning application 23-22V.
I move approval of said variance.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, Ms. Ward, Ms. Cord, thank you. Any discussion?
No.
Any discussion whatsoever concerning this? Okay, then I'll entertain a vote. The motion is for approval of application 23-22V. All in favor of that motion, the approval of that motion, would you raise your right hand, please? Okay, it is a 3-0 for approval. You should be able to get your paperwork through the office now, Mr. Spayos.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much.
appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all for something.
Okay, our next application is for application 23-23V. Jasmine Cortez Nova owner, William Charles Crippen agent. It's for 205 and 207 Elizabeth Street, approximately 0.18 and 0.18 acres. Is located in land lot 125 of the 3rd Land District. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the R1 zoning acreage requirement of 2 acres to a proposed .338 acres by combining 2 lots for a new proposed addition. These lots are currently zoned R1 single-family residential low density. Is the applicant present?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll entertain a motion from staff concerning this variance.
Yes, again, the applicant is Jasmine and Cortez Nova. Address is 205 and 207 Elizabeth Street. Variance is request to reduce the acreage from the required 2 acres to .339 acres. Per section 411.A.1 through 8, the applicant's request meets the hardship criteria as listed in that section. Just a little bit of background: the homeowner will be combining lots 205 and 207 Elizabeth Street in order to be able to meet the side yard setback requirements for their addition. Final staff recommendation is for approval to reduce this acreage requirement from 2 acres to the .339 acres.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board to staff?
I have one. What's the reason, you said they're making an addition to the current dwelling, is why they want to combine the lots to at least somewhat conform? Okay,
Conform to meet that side yard setback, yes.
okay. Okay.
I noticed that that they had encroached a little bit on the right side of that line by .94 there.
And that's the reason for the variance.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
okay.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion concerning application 23-23V. I make a motion for approval.
I second.
Second.
Okay, we have an approval and a second. Any more discussion?
No.
Then I'll entertain a motion concerning the approval of application 23-23V. All in favor, show of hands by your right hand raised, please. It is unanimous, 3-0. Okay, concerning minutes, I need a motion to go back and open the minutes because of a change that was made to some of the minutes to reopen the November 10th, the February 9th, and the March 8th meeting minutes. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Okay. Do I have a
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to bring back to the table. I request a motion to, well, first of all, I'd have to make a note here that I cannot vote on the November 10th minutes because I was not here. So I would like for this to be broken into the November 10th and the February 9th and March 8th be broken into two
He
different
just
parts
wasn't
because I can't vote on the,
You should have
Ne-
a book that
first.
says it can be approved with a majority of votes present and voting. We used to have a voting book in one of the desks up there that clarified that, so we haven't had to use it in a while, but that's what it used to say. Steve, that hadn't been changed without.
It has not been changed, no, sir.
Okay.
So with the majority of the votes that are present for eligibility, they can move
That's
the
correct.
project forward.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
That's going back in the recesses of my mind, so I wanted to.
so even if I don't vote on the November 10th, the two
can still
others are
pass, that's
it's present, not quorum
Present
for the whole
from that
board.
meeting at that
That-
time.
that's-
You have a
Okay.
quorum that's able to do business.
Okay.
Okay,
Even though
okay,
you only got three, so if you have a majority vote of the three of you here.
Okay.
It can be approved, so your vote, Doug, would not be required.
okay. Okay, then I
Not
will
absolute.
entertain a motion to accept the November 10th, 2022 minutes as written.
Okay. I'll second for
Okay.
discussion.
And all in favor, would you raise your right?
I got a question.
Yes.
What was the changes that were made to the minutes?
So the minutes were reopened and the changes were for clarity only, for just consistency of being able to read, ease of read.
Okay, okay.
Cleaning up just some of the
Okay.
grammar that was in there. It
Gotcha.
was not substantive. It
Okay.
was just to make sure that 3 years down the road,
They can understand what happened
yes, ma'am.
at that time. Okay.
ma'am.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Okay. Ready to vote?
Yes.
Then I'll entertain a vote concerning the minutes of November 10th, 2022 approval.
I move approval of the November 10th, 2022 minutes
Okay?
as amended.
As amended.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the November 10th, 2022 minutes. All in favor, would you raise your right hand, please? We do have two. And I will recuse myself since I was not there. Okay? Now, we need to entertain a motion to accept the February 9th, 2023, and the March 8th, 2023 minutes as written.
Now, do we need to open and then amend, or we can just go, we can go ahead and vote?
Actually, I
approve.
believe you opened all three.
We opened all
No,
three,
motion.
so
Yes,
now we
ma'am.
just need to, a motion to approve.
That's
Okay.
correct.
I move approval of the minutes from
What is that?
the dates of
February 9th.
February 9th, 2023, and March 8th, 2023, as amended.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay. All in favor of approval, would you raise your right hand, please? And I can vote on that one also. Also, next item is approval of the minutes from August 10th, 2023, as written. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All right, we have an approval in a second. All in favor, would you raise your right hand, please? All right, thank you. Now, do we have a report from the director?
What about the August 10th minutes?
They did.
Oh, have you already done the August 10th? Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we just did. Mhm.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
No comment.
How about any board member comments?
No comment. No comments.
The only thing I would say is, for some reason, it looks like we have an attendance problem. I don't know how we address that, but
We'll address it.
Yes, sir.
you will.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, I think maybe that, okay, well, I'll just leave it at that,
Okay.
okay? Anything else that anyone from the board or staff or director or whomever has to say before we adjourn? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved, do I have a second?
A second.
Get some rest.
All approved, all raise your right hand. We are adjourned.
All right, thank you.